From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha Ashraf. U.S. Intelligence Chief Tulsi Gabbard has accused former President Barack Obama and top aides of treasonous conspiracy to undermine Donald Trump's 2016 election win. She claims Obama-era officials faked intelligence reports on Russian interference. According to Gabbard, this was part of a years-long coup to remove Trump from power. She says top intelligence agencies, including the CIA, FBI, and NSA, were directed to produce misleading reports, citing a December 2016 meeting at the White House where officials allegedly planned the campaign. Gabbard accused them of leaking false information to media outlets. She submitted evidence to the Justice Department and called for prosecution. The Writers Guild of America, or WGA, has called for a bribery investigation into Paramount Global. This follows its abrupt cancellation of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. The WGA says the decision may have been politically motivated. Just 2 days before the cancellation, Colbert criticized Paramount's $16 million settlement with President Donald Trump, calling it a big, fat bribe. The deal was linked to Paramount's efforts to get federal approval for a merger with Skydance. The WGA fears free speech is being sacrificed to gain favor with the Trump administration. Paramount claims the cancellation was a financial decision, but the timing has raised serious concerns. The Skydance CEO also met with the FCC the day Colbert's segment aired. The WGA wants New York's Attorney General to investigate the matter fully. The U.S. and Venezuela carried out a major prisoner swap on July 18th. 10 Americans were freed in exchange for more than 200 Venezuelans held in El Salvador. Many of the Venezuelans were jailed during the Trump administration and linked to the Tren de Aragua gang. Secretary of State Marco Rubio praised President Donald Trump's leadership, calling the release a victory for American diplomacy. He condemned Venezuela for jailing Americans without due process. Rubio also welcomed the release of Venezuelan political prisoners. El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele, who mediated the deal, confirmed the swap and thanked both parties. The Venezuelans will transit through El Salvador before heading home. Venezuelan authorities have yet to issue a statement. A new AI-designed thermal coating may revolutionize energy efficiency. Developed by researchers from the U.S., China, Sweden, and Singapore, the paint uses 3D thermal meta-emitters to reflect heat and cool buildings. In tests, a coated roof stayed 9 degrees to 36 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than roofs with white or gray paint after 4 hours in direct sunlight. Researchers say this breakthrough could transform textiles, vehicles, and climate control in extreme environments. Applied on buildings, the coating could cut air conditioning use significantly. Beyond homes, the materials could combat urban heat, cool cars, and regulate spacecraft temperatures. Black landowners from Sapelo Island, Georgia, are back in court. They belong to Hog Hummock, a historic Gullah-Geechee community. They accuse county officials of racial discrimination. The lawsuit challenges 2023 zoning changes in McIntosh County. The new rules allow bigger homes and favor wealthy white buyers. Residents say this will drive up property taxes and fear it will push out the poor, mostly black locals. A judge dismissed the original case last year on technical grounds. Now the county wants the revised lawsuit thrown out too. They say it missed state deadlines and lacks legal grounds. However, lawyers for the landowners say the deadlines were met and that the changes violate civil rights and state laws. Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene joined Progressive Democrats Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. Details coming up next.
Muna Convention 2025, Torchbearer of Islam. With this powerful theme, Muna Convention returns this year on August 8th, 9th, and 10th at the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia. Join us for an unforgettable weekend featuring over 30 esteemed scholars from across the globe, delivering powerful lectures and inspiring hearts. More than 25,000 attendees are expected to gather in one of the largest Islamic conventions in North America. Experience a full and dynamic program including dedicated youth conferences, parallel sessions for diverse interests, special Young Sisters program, on-site health clinics, delicious halal food, a vibrant children's learn and fun zone, and an expansive bazaar and expo. Register now at munaconvention.com and get 20% off for limited time. Spots are filling up quickly. Don't wait to register. Join us at Muna Convention 2025, where faith, unity, and action meet.
In a surprising alliance, Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene joined Progressive Democrats Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar in an attempt to cut $500 million in U.S. funding for Israel's missile programs. The vote followed Israel's deadly strike on Gaza's Holy Family Catholic Church last week. Despite her push, the House overwhelmingly rejected the amendment, voting 422-6. Greene argued the U.S., facing $37 trillion in debt, should prioritize America First spending. The funding is separate from the annual $3.3 billion in security aid Israel receives. Greene has increasingly criticized Israel's influence in U.S. policymaking. She has called out bipartisan loyalty to Tel Aviv during appearances on conservative platforms such as Tucker Carlson's and Steve Bannon's shows. Analysts say her dissent signals a growing anti-war stance within the MAGA wing of the GOP. Congress ultimately passed on the $832 billion military budget for 2026. Israeli air and ground assaults across Gaza have killed at least 115 Palestinians in the past 24 hours. Among the dead are 79 people seeking aid at the Bikini crossing and 13 killed at UN-run shelters. Medical sources say at least 34 were killed on Monday alone, including 4 people trying to get food. Hospitals received 134 bodies and more than 1,100 injured in the last day. 5 people were also killed in a strike on a water desalination plant in Gaza City. Israel's army has launched a new ground offensive at Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. Harrowing images on social media show starving civilians collapsing from hunger. UN Refugee Agency, UNRWA, says aid supplies for 3 months remain blocked at the border and called the Gaza crisis man-made. At least 1,021 people have been killed at the controversial U.S. and Israel-managed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation sites. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed more than 64,000 Palestinians, the majority of them women, children, and the elderly, according to a major study published in the British medical journal The Lancet in January. Israel faces war crimes charges at the International Criminal Court and a genocide case at the International Court of Justice. Pope Leo on Sunday condemned an Israeli strike on Gaza's only Catholic church, calling it barbaric. The attack hit the Holy Family Catholic Parish on Thursday, killing 3 civilians and injuring others, including the priest. Approximately 600 people were sheltering there. The Pope named the victims as Saad Isa Kostandi Salame, Fumia Isa Latif Ayed, and Najwa Ibrahim Latif Abu Daud. Speaking after his Angelus prayer at Castel Gandolfo, Italy, he said the church strike was one of many attacks on civilians and places of worship in Gaza. He called for an immediate stop to the war and urged a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Pope Leo also pressed the global community to uphold international humanitarian law. He stressed the need to protect civilians and ban collective punishment, indiscriminate force, and forced displacement. Pakistani forces killed 9 militants in a joint operation in Hungu district of the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa on Saturday. The raid left 3 security officers wounded, including a district police officer. All were shifted to Kohat Hospital and are stable. In a separate incident, police intercepted and downed 2 explosives-laden drones in Bannu district. The quadcopters were targeting police and counterterrorism stations. The violence comes amid a sharp uptick in militant attacks. On Wednesday, 10 people, including police and army officers, died in separate attacks in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan. Earlier this month, security forces reported killing 30 militants attempting to cross from Afghanistan into North Waziristan. Islamabad continues to accuse the Pakistani Taliban of cross-border attacks. Allegations of Afghanistan's ruling Taliban denies. A French court has suspended a local ban on burkinis at public beaches in Mandelieu-la-Napoule near Cannes. The administrative court in Nice ruled the decree seriously and illegally infringed on freedoms of movement, conscience, and personal liberty. The town introduced the ban on July 15th, citing the burkini as ostentatious religious wear that could spark public disorder. The mayor claimed tensions from the inter-religious cohabitation justified the move, but the court found no evidence to support these claims. The Human Rights League, which filed the challenge, called the ban targeted and discriminatory. The league petition said the burkini does not turn a beach into a mosque. It argued the swimwear lets Muslim women enjoy the beach while honoring their faith. French courts have repeatedly overturned such bans in recent years, finding them unconstitutional and discriminatory. Oxford University Press, or OUP, will stop publishing forensic sciences research, a China-sponsored journal, by the end of this year. The move follows ethical concerns over studies using DNA from Uyghurs and other minorities, allegedly without proper consent. The journal, published with China's Ministry of Justice and the Academy of Forensic Sciences, faced backlash for using genetic data potentially aiding mass surveillance. One controversial study involved 264 Uyghur blood samples collected via police grants. OUP flagged the article in 2024 but did not retract it. 2 other studies have been withdrawn since 2023 for ethical breaches. Human rights groups accuse China of collecting DNA under the guise of health checks to monitor minorities. Rights groups say China's lack of checks on police-led research raises serious global ethical concerns in forensic science. China has not yet responded to the allegations. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.